What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I thought it would be pretty fun to go ahead and discuss why I personally believe Call of Duty cannot maintain its hype when it comes to any type of content on the internet. I'll be real with you guys, numbers wise, yeah, they might go ahead and sell a ton of games. But realistically, when it comes to a lot of content creators, channels, communities, like for example, the Reddit page, the Reddit boards for Call of Duty, where people, go and talk about the game, it's at an all-time low. I'll be honest with you guys. Between, the views people get, the amount of interest people have within Call of Duty. Again, the discussions are not really popping because the Reddit page, this is the lowest it's ever been, really, when it comes to any of these Call of Duty games. People just simply aren't caring anymore. And I'll be real with you guys, it's been like this for a hot minute. Even back to other games like the Jetpack games and also, Black Ops 4 and, moving forward all the way up to current date with Modern Warfare 3 here, even all the other games like Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, Vanguard. I just feel like Call of Duty always ends up dying a month or two after launch. You know what I'm saying? Even back to Call of Duty's prime, it still had a short lifespan, People just lose interest instantly within the game. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't really show any interest anymore. And of course, there's a lot of other variables. Things like skill-based matchmaking plays a massive factor in why people don't really care about COD nowadays. Once one of the most well-known casual shooters known to mankind, is now turned into one of the most competitive shooters known to mankind. You know what I'm saying? And nobody really wants to hop into that anymore, especially after working long hours, having long days. Nobody wants to have to deal with all of that crap. So yeah, there are many other factors to why people don't want to hop in to the Call of Duty experience. But I'll tell you one thing. I personally believe it comes down to the yearly life cycle of a Call of Duty game. Now, we talked about this topic a lot of times before. But I'm not talking about when it comes to developers getting more time and, more effort is put towards the game. No, I'm talking about just the community itself. I feel like a community is never built for any single Call of Duty game. And honestly, every Call of Duty game nowadays is just a blur. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we get changes. Yeah, we get some different things here and there. But it releases so frequently that people just think of it as like a subscription service, They make so much money every single year. They really do. So many copies are sold. But again, player counts just keep getting more rough and rough over the years. I feel like people, once again, they hop into the game, they play it for maybe, a month or two, and they just end up ditching it. Now, this could be due to it always releasing around the holiday season. And of course, people have lives. Around the holiday season when Call of Duty drops, people are getting more time off, more paid vacations, so on and so forth. And they're able to kick back a bit more and have time to play Call of Duty. But then, obviously, as we go into the new year and everybody's getting ready to start back up again and get back to their lives, things once again fall off. But Call of Duty is never maintained. It's one of those games people pick up, once again, as, I guess, a trend or something that's just popular, nowadays. They just pick it up and just want it to be part of their catalog, but don't actually hop back in, don't actually participate in the community, in the game, with, wanting fixes and rearranging certain things and, all of that good stuff. And I really do believe that it just comes down to the game releasing every single year. There's not enough time between the beginning of the game and the end of the game to build up enough of a community. People hop in and they're already ready for the next experience, and then the next game comes out, they play it for a couple of months, they're done, they're ready for the next experience. There's a lot of games out there that I could think of that have a pretty solid community, and they aren't even the most popping games that you could think of. The games aren't like, top selling like Call of Duty does every single year. But when it comes to a community being formed, people watching content or interacting, like I said, on, pages like Reddit or on Twitter or something of that sort, so on and so forth. When it comes to a genuine community being formed, these communities are so much bigger, so much more traction, so much more interaction, But the difference is that these games have been going on for a while. They've had years and years and years and years to, become something, be its own game, and people get attracted to that. Even if the game turns out horrible, again, the longer developers tug at it and they actually try to put something together, people will still form around it. Even look at Battlefield 2042 for an example. I still don't think that's one of the best Battlefield games out there. And I am, more excited to see what they have coming up next, you know what I'm saying? Rather than still grinding out 2042. But still, it's been out for a while now. The developers have still been putting in work and effort, even though it's long times in between the work and effort. They still do it. And it's just a lot more action, I feel like, going on within their community. Their community actually talks more, interacts more, discusses the game itself, because there is no other game to go ahead and discuss. They can hop back to a different game. They can do something, else from an OG title. But when it comes to fresh stuff to play, that's it. That's the main title. That's the newest one that's out, and it's been out for years now. Call of Duty, again, like I said, it drops yearly. There is no time in between for communities to be built, for people to really genuinely want to hop into the experience and dedicate a lot of time. And I don't think people personally treat Call of Duty like that anymore, because they got used to that cycle, that yearly cycle. Back in the day when COD was still fresh, it was, almost addicting to want to get every single game because it felt so fresh and unique and interesting. But as time has gone on, how much longer are they going to be able to keep a game like Call of Duty fresh, unique, and interesting? You know what I'm saying? It's going to become more and more difficult, and people are just in the mindset that, it's a new experience literally every single year. I play something fresh, I give it a couple of months, and then I wait for the next new experience, and I get that, fix. I get that new fresh game. Play it a couple of months, leave it, go to the next one, play a fresh new, leave it, you get the idea? Instead of having a game that's out for years, where it can actually have time to develop and people can, actually dive deep and want to invest time into the game and want to, form a community and interact. We don't really have that with Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And I really do believe that putting the game on, past a yearly cycle, no more yearly cycles, even if it's every 2 years, every 3 years, I don't care. I feel like if they were to go ahead and do that, that would help with the community a lot more. Again, I know we discussed this before when it comes to the developer standpoint, but I never really thought about it like this. I always wonder why the community and why COD just does not maintain hype. People just don't treat it like that anymore because they come and go too quickly. Even some of the better games out of these years, like, Black Ops 3. Everybody's always saying Black Ops 3 is the best jetpack game. And, Black Ops 4 is one of the better, boots on the ground games in the recent years. Black Ops Cold War. I see some saying Modern Warfare 2019 is one of their favorites. Not really for me, but I see it a lot all the time. So on and so forth. But even with those games, the community still didn't like the biggest point in Call of Duty in a long time was probably Warzone. And that's because the pandemic and people were forced to stay inside and, they didn't have anything else to do. But once they were actually back out and everybody got back to their lives, instantly dropped right back down. COD cannot maintain that consistent style of community. So I guess my question for you guys is, do you believe if Call of Duty went on a 2 to 3 year cycle instead of releasing every single year, do you believe the community would be more solid, more strong, more people would view content, more people would be interacting on, boards and social media? Do you think it'll be more popular? And I'm not talking about the game being good. I'm not saying, yes, it's getting more time, so that means developers are going to have more time to put effort into the title. None of that stuff. I'm just talking about the community itself. Do you think that more time for a game to be out would equal a not a stronger community, but I guess a more active one? Or do you believe that, Call of Duty releasing every single year makes it just basically a trend? COD feels like a meme. It's not really like the community it used to be back in the day. It just feels like, again, like I said earlier, people just buy it because it's Call of Duty. Everybody knows the name, everybody knows the hype, so they're just going to buy it anyways. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time, and sometimes we do post at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So you know what I'm saying? We got some double uploads here every once in a while. Make sure you guys hit that bell. It keeps you notified on everything. And we are going to be discussing X-Defiant as well when that game drops. So if you are interested in a little extra content besides Call of Duty, that's going to be on the channel as well. And last but not least, I do try to go ahead and stream pretty much daily besides Sundays, starting around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys are interested, if you want to hop into the open lobbies that we're always hosting over there, by all means, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. Like I said, I do it over on Kick. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.